Amen. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, we'd like to start this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash.
Next is double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Salutations unto the 144,000 doing the work of the Lord in all truth, honor, and sincerity. And shalom to the 1/3 men, women, and children who believe in this word being taught unto them. Shabbat I am Allah, joined by the beloved brother Rasazaracha Lawiyah, and we're here this evening with a video entitled Ease Ways Lead to Death, Righteousness Leads to Immortality.
God.
Right? Because as you can see here in this article, which was actually published today, you've got Gil Bates here. It says declares most humans no longer needed. An AI era will decide who survives. Well, the first question there is who's we?
Yeah.
You know, because he's certainly not talking about your David Camerons and your Keir Starmers and your Donald Trumps. You know, the scriptures say in Psalm 64 to hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, man.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a wicked elite that operate behind the scenes that you know, they're the ones that pull the strings and you know, pretty much manipulate world events in order to bring forth their wicked agenda, which we here at GMS, beginning with our elder apostles, have exposed on the highways and the byways, various streaming platforms, wherever it is, man. You got a preset?
Yeah, I got a preset right now. Okay.
Come on.
This is Salaki. Did you have a preset before I said preset?
No, you go ahead, bro. You go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse 8. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. So the reason why I brought that up, because it says that no man hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, but key phrase really says, neither hath he power in the day of death. So just because Esau says, most humans are obsolete, as he said, kill Bates, or the nickname that he gave him, Bill Gates, just because he renders him and obviously the elites of Esau Eden render most of the population as useless, it doesn't mean that those of whom he targets, not everyone that he targets will actually be able to be committed to death. That's why Yahushua also said in these times also that, some of you walking today will not taste of death. The power of death, it belongs to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I believe there's another precept that talks about he kills and he makes alive.
Yeah, I can get that on for you.
Yeah, Baruch. Then after that, I got another precept too.
This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. It says, See now that I, even I am he, there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And if I may say as well, Baba Kushra, another precept we can add on to that is the Heavenly Father, he's the Father of spirits, man.
Oh yeah.
There's one in Psalms I'm thinking about that. I can't formulate the words in my head. But pretty much, the Heavenly Father. Oh, that's it. He's with him belongs the issues from death.
Oh yeah.
Psalm 79, 78 or something.
I got it. This is 68 verse 20.
Come on.
So this is Psalm 68 and verse 20. It says, He that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto the Most High the Lord belongeth the issues from death.
Right. So Esau don't get the final say so as to who gets to live, who gets to die, the amount of people that get to live, because before the Georgia Guidestones were conveniently taken away. That's watering it down really. What was the first commandment on there? To maintain the population under 500 million.
Yeah.
We've got close to, if not already, 8 billion people walking the earth. So, you're gonna have to kill a big, vast amount of people to
Mm.
achieve that goal. But you
Yep.
see, Esau don't care,
Oh.
because death follows him pretty much wherever he goes, man. Gil Bates is the same individual that said, to what, maintain the Earth's population. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not that. What was it? One of those TED talks. He
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah. If we do a good job, we'll
yeah,
be able to reduce. Pretty much, he was inferring about reducing the Earth's population.
yeah. He said
Mm.
investing in medicine and the healthcare and
Yeah.
vaccinations. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
he said we can reduce the world's population by 10 to 15%, not increase, but
Mm.
to reduce the
Oh,
world's
but
population. You see, and you see people. You see, uh, um, what's that scripture? Let me hold this one real quick, Baba Kashar.
mm.
All right, this is Psalms 55 and verse 21, and it says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yeah.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." Because you see, he said to reduce the world's population by 10 to 15%, and
Mm.
it's like, but who in that TED talk interpreted reduce as in killing?
So that's a
You
good
know,
question.
who millions of people? Because 10 to 15% of
Mm.
billion, just off an estimate, that's still in the millions, man.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
you
a
got
lot of people. Yeah, Khan. Let me just read this precept here that I had in Malachi. Actually, I'll go from the one that you mentioned. This is Hebrews 12 and verse 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence, which means deep respect. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? And of course, Esau's going to actually put people in a position where, again, Revelation 13, talking about he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, all levels of man, no matter their status, to receive a mark. And of course, he's going to have those conditions in order to put people, push them in a corner where they're going to feel that pressure to take that mark, which was fundamentally going to be targeting their livelihoods, how they're going to feed themselves and their families, as well as pretty much just based on survivability. That's what Esau's going to target here. But that's going to be the true test of faith because, it's, as it says here, shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? That's essentially a test of integrity as well. And integrity just goes into strong moral principles. And our moral principles is based upon these scriptures. So, nevertheless, of whatever Esau's aiming to do, which we know right now, we've got the Hanta virus as well, the Ebola pandemic that's making a comeback. I think it was even 2016 that Ebola was made as well. Well, I say made, but whoever can understand, you can understand because we live in an age where there's a lot of biological warfare. So we've got the Hanta virus, we've got Ebola, of course. You've got some other things as well, like the monkeypox and different type of diseases and pestilences of which Yahweh Shem Yahshua is using Esau in order to further his beast system because he has to have that um what's the saying on a $1 bill, order up chaos, order out of chaos. So which means certain events will be orchestrated through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, allowing it to happen through Esau in order to actually well, first of all, the illusion is he thinks he's achieving his goal, but the pinnacle will be that B system, that chip implant. After that, he ain't gonna achieve any of that transhumanism stuff that you might see in the movies where you got the mind transferring to robots, man. But yeah, Salakia, if you got a point, you can speak on it.
yeah, no, man. I think
Mm.
back to this article, man.
Yeah, yeah, go on, go on.
Hold on a minute. Here we go. Yep. So Bill Gates declares most humans no longer needed in AI era. We'll decide who survives. It says globalist billionaire Gil Bates has openly declared that rapid AI advances will make most humans obsolete, stating bluntly that we, the elite, will decide humanity's future in a world where people are no longer required for most tasks. Let's see what this word is, obsolete.
Mm.
Here we go. Look at that. Obsolete means something is obsolete when it is no longer in active use, usually because it has been replaced by something newer, better, or more fashionable.
Mhm.
That applies to physical items, outdated technology, discarded customs, and occasionally obsolete vocabulary. Now, that's beautiful because I've mentioned in a couple of my recent videos how, uh, at the job, they're pushing for us to use AI more,
Mm.
more specifically, Copilot is what we use.
Mhm.
And, I'll be honest with you, yeah, it does make, a lot easier. However, it does have you thinking that, well, all Esau has to do is to program the AI to do this on autopilot, and then ultimately it's not going to need a human on the other end
Yeah.
to. So it says that the rapid AI advances will make most humans obsolete. I mean, you even talking about now you got driverless cars.
Mm.
Even you cab drivers are saying, "Oh yeah, you always gonna need a driver." Well, nigga, they got cars driving themselves, man. They can't be getting
That's
into
true. That's true. I've seen
accidents.
some as well.
You have it right, but hey,
Mhm.
Esau, he's proud, so he's gonna push forward with it anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's saying that humans ain't gonna be required for most tasks, man. So therefore we just kill them. That's Esau's way of reasoning,
Car.
right?
Car.
In a resurfaced late night television interview, Gates said due to AI advances, humans will no longer be needed. When asked if humans would still be necessary, he replied, "Not for most things. We'll decide."
Hmm.
You know how that devil said it, that proud ass, ugly ass motherfucker, man. Look at him. This is the guy that said, "Not for most things, we'll decide." And he probably had that look on his face.
The exact same look as well.
He ended that sentence like that. We'll decide.
Yeah.
Huh?
The pride.
Man. Yeah. Oh, well. Hold on a minute. Let's get that real quick. Obadiah 1, Baba Kusha.
Mhm. Car.
Because what these devils don't understand is that they're actually being deceived by their pride, man. Ultimately, the Heavenly Father's got them in a trick bag,
Oh yeah.
and they're gonna find out very soon that the Lord weren't dealing with them all along.
Mm-hmm. Want to read it?
Can't
This is Obadiah chapter 1
read
and
from verse 3, Baba Kusha.
verse 3. So Obadiah 1 and verse 3 says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?"
Like, do you know how proud you have to be
Hmm.
to talk as a mere mortal human being yourself,
Yeah.
right? Talking about if when asked will humans be necessary, he said not for motions, you'll decide. Like,
Hmm.
listen, bro, you're forgetting where you came from, man. You
Calm.
know, well, you're gonna have to zoom into that up.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, I was getting into the land region of Esau, Edom, Petra. Hold on. Let's see if I can, because obviously they call it the Caucasus Mountains, isn't it?
Come on.
Petra, where is it? Petra tourism. Let me see if I can get that. Images. You can see from this image here. Oh, I clicked on it. Hold on.
You might have to right click it. Yeah, that.
Oh, actually, hold on. I think I can do it here. Function, open image, new tab.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can see how the influence of Esau Edom,
Right.
because the pillars, of course, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, especially the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
They these pillars are simply, it's like an echo of Esau's architecture. So he
Right.
was resided in those Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, but if you want to say something,
Even in the second leg of the Roman Empire, which we're in right now,
mm-hmm.
right? We still have loads of buildings that are constructed this way.
Yeah,
Even thinking about the place of work that I'm at now,
mm-hmm.
the buildings surrounding it, they actually look like this. So
Yeah,
we can identify who Esau Edom is in the scriptures, man. And
yeah.
Esau tries to be everyone but the Edomites, but then when you check this,
Mm.
it's like, well, who's designing their kingdom this way to this day,
It's true. It's true. The evidence is there.
right?
If you got eyes to see, that's the real thing. And there's one thing Apostle Gabar did mention. I believe he made a video I think, a few days ago on it. But yeah, only Edomites that you pretty much see around this land region, man. You don't really see Jake, you know, uh, examining this place. So their spirits are more resonant with that land region because the fact that, of course, that's part of their origin,
Right.
you know. So it's quite clear again with his architecture that these are the Edomites again. But that's just one thing. Spiritually, this is a precept that shows that the so-called white individuals are Edomites. Which not all whites, not all so-called white people are Edomites, by the way. There's the concept of the speckled bird, Jeremiah 12 and verse 9, where there could be a Edomite on the outside, the outer shell, but actually by bloodline they're Israelites. So you
Right.
can't just judge with cover. But I'll read this though. This is how you identify the nature of an Edomite. Malachi 1 and 4 says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, and we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So, of course, that key phrase where it says the border of wickedness, that's how you know that they're an Edomite. Because certain times, that for example, a few weeks ago as well, we saw an Edomite family. And I think one of the child, he threw a little tantrum, or I think that's the word for it, where he just plucked the flowers off of the flower bed. I don't know if you remember. Okay,
Um. y- y-
it was in that other spot, the other spot.
Yeah. And what
Yeah.
was his little sister or something.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So you just pluck the flower, flipping. He was destroying the place, man. That was in his nature. Instead of just respecting it, he was flipping, destroying the place. But anyways, that's just on a little child. How much more Bill Gates of him was speaking of right now, man? The board of wickedness, and with them juices as well. There's juice. Obviously you've got to speak in code. Those needles. They could use that to target Jake's, and of course, Jake is going to suffer from it way more than any other heathen would as well. Because we're both Jake is the protagonist of the story, and then you got Esau as the antagonist. Everyone else, all these heathen nations, they're the side characters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God,
Just to
God.
add to your point as well, because you mentioned if that's what the little child would do, what more,
Yeah.
you know, uh, Big Daddy Esau.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Psalm 58 and 3 says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So it's like the moment they pop out of mama, they're
Yeah.
ready on some wickedness, man.
Oh boy.
And
It's
that's
in
and
their
that's
nature.
and their countenance show forth. I mean, usually,
Mm.
when you see Jake babies, they be looking all cute and stuff. Most
Mm.
like babies, sorry to say, man, they be looking ugly as hell. They just be looking all bugged out and shit.
Unfortunately.
The spirit that's within him is not upright in the first place. And they don't need to become 2021 before they're wicked. No, they're wicked. They're wicked are estranged from the womb. All right. So let's go back to this article. Very easy to go elsewhere, man. But anyways, it says the chilling remarks have triggered a firestorm, with many interpreting them as a direct window into a long suspected elite depopulation agenda. All right. So once again, the conspiracy theorists were correct, because we got labeled all manner of different things, but everything that our so-called conspiracy theorists have come out with, has actually been true, and it's not of us, man. It's of Yahweh Bashim Shai that gives us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You got that Amos 3, Baba Kasha?
I got. Is it Amos 3 and 7? You said.
Yep.
God, this is Amos 3 and verse 7. It says, "Surely the Lord power, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets."
There you have it. So, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, we got those secrets, man. We don't keep these secrets secret. We bring these secrets out diligently. For those that we're hearing forbear, which really we know it's the elect. All right. But because everyone, what's happening is everyone is being snared into this wicked time, man. And a lot of people are gonna get caught lacking with their pants down, which I know you got a preset, but let me just bring this real quick, Baba Kasha. This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. It says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them." Because you see, you got people just lollygagging into the MOTB world. How they integrated contactless payments, your Apple Watch and your Android Watch payments, and then certain places you go, you just got to wave your hand to open the door and things of that nature. So it's like people are just woven into this new world order so sweet and seductively that they don't even realize that it's happening, and then boom, suddenly they're gonna be snared in this evil time. And that's how this devil is, man. That's why Sirach 12 says to never trust an enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. I mean, for goodness sake, he's even wicked to his own people. What kind of man are you, bro? What kind of people are you? You're even cruel to your own people.
There's no friendly fire with him, man. He's just gonna.
He's about that friendly fire. You mean?
Because like when you accidentally shoot.
Exactly. He's about that friendly fire, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a fair point. Yeah. It's true.
But yeah, you had a precept.
Calm. Let me read it. So this is Colossians 1 and verse 26. It says, "Even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints." And of course, this mystery of which Yahweh Shem has revealed to us, of course, is broken down via our apostles, of course, our elders as well. The elder apostles, our elders as well, that directly taught us, in our camp over here in the UK, within GMS. And of course, these teachings of which we've then attained, we then use that. And of course, Yaratazar, we use that to produce more fruit, which is essentially more of essentially just bidding to the marriage and getting the elect, for Yahweh Shem Yahshai, again, Matthew 25, when it pertains to that bidding of the marriage. But that mystery, of course, we're the ones who have the true understanding of these scriptures, which is what that means. Of course, it was hidden previously, as it says here, which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest, which means it's made clear to his saints, man. And of course, that's really talking about the remnant of Israel, Zechariah 13 and verse 9, about the 1/3. Of course, that's over there in America. And of course, the 144,000 of which are the governing body, of Israel. So this is Isaiah 10 and verse 20. It says, and 144,000 is reference to Revelation 14. Isaiah 10 and verse 20, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. So, of course, we'll no longer stay upon Esau, Edom, of which was used to then oppress us. There'll be no more there'll be no more. Jay won't be in a state of ignorance where they're just going to be trusting of Esau, Edom. We wouldn't have to go to their hospitals to then deliver, our babies, and then, with the risk of them shooting up stuff, to our seed, and essentially causing them all sorts of diseases and whatnot, autism and all of these things, which is a wickedness, So in the kingdom, we ain't gonna worry about all of this.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
So it says here, and this is why we need to be changed, man, and Yahweh Shai come back, man, because Esau, he's fucking us up, he's fucking his own people up, he's fucking himself up, with the earth needs new management. It says the comments align with Gates' decade-long focus on population control. His foundation has poured billions into vaccines, reproductive health, and global health, in quote, in bracket, global health initiatives in developing nations. In his 2010 TED Talk, you see, I didn't even know that it made
mention it.
It says in his 2010 TED Talk. So you see, and that's how you know that we ain't just speaking out of our asses, man. Gates famously stated that new vaccines and better healthcare could help lower, not increase, world population growth by 10 to 15%. Remarks now being revisited in a far darker light. Oh yeah, what you thought he was playing when he said that 26 years ago?
Even
16 years ago, Salaka. 16 years ago. You thought he was playing. Here we are 16 years later, man. Look where we're at. Will decide. The elite arrogance exposed. Gates' use of we has drawn particular outrage. The pronoun does not refer to government, citizens, or humanity at large. It points to a small club of billionaires, technocrats, and global institutions who believe they alone should determine which human activities, if any, remain in an AI-dominated world. Full context from the interview shows Gates discussing AI delivering expert services and freeing people for leisure, yet the core message remains unmistakable. Humans are becoming optional, and the decision about their future rests with the elite class that controls the technology and capital. So they're just going all out with this, man.
Oh yeah.
They're proud. And in fact, hold on. I'm gonna just read on. There's a preset I want to bring up, but I'm gonna just, because this is the end of the article anyway. The clip's viral spread comes as Microsoft, and by the way, that AI software that I was talking about that we implement at work, named Copilot, that's a product of Microsoft.
Yep.
All right. The clip's viral spread comes as Microsoft aggressively pushes AI development, while Gates continues to lecture the world on climate, health, and sustainability, topics long tied to arguments for fewer people, consuming fewer resources. As automation accelerates, questions grow louder. Is widespread job loss merely progress or the engineered mechanism for a post-human economy where the global population is steadily culled or managed into irrelevance? Yeah, they're going to treat you like you're some animal on the farm, bro. You just here. You just come there, little 15-minute city here, little 15-minute city there. You can't leave your little 15-minute radius.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
don't even work anymore because you want a UBI, universal basic income, with that
Mhm.
program money. You don't get to decide. I'm not paying that ticket. I'm not paying that fine. You don't get to decide. Your money's programmed.
Mm. Yeah, man. It's gonna be pretty much all these movies that talk about the dystopian society. You know, like there's this movie called Upgrade,
Hold
which
on. There you
oh,
go.
you see my screen right now.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, there's this movie called Upgrade. You know, it's free on Amazon Prime currently. Well, over here in the UK, and pretty much it goes into this chip implant that allows individuals. I think the sickness is called being quadriplegic, where you have some kind of paralysis of the body. You know, you can't your motor neurons, which is how you move your hand and your body as well. You know, your motor neurons don't really work properly. But the upgrade, they had a chip implant, hooked up to his spine. I'm just getting this from the clip. Yara I go watch the movie eventually. But he got hooked up to his spine and he was able to walk again. So these are the miracles of which Esau Eden will use in order to entice people to pretty much forsake themselves, especially Jake, focusing on Jake really, to forsake Yahweh Shem Shai, which nevertheless they were still in a state of ignorance anyways, because they've already rejected Yahweh Shem Shai by serving these other idols. But
Mhm.
despite that point, this chip will just solidify that point, so there will be no gray area, in that time. That's why again it's a test of integrity. And I was talking about a dystopian society as well. Another one is also Blade Runner 2049. Just the way there's this coldness. Even from this image over here. Let me try and open in another tab. This image over here, it's just some kind of a grayness or coldness to it. There's no life, there's no greenery. There's a reason why Yahweh Shimashah created, trees for us as well. First of all,
Right.
they produce oxygen, and of course we produce carbon dioxide, and they help us in terms of being able to breathe clean air. Really, you can even liken the plants as a purifier for the air. But Esau Eden with his flipping spraying of the skies and whatnot. That's why he's got to be taken out, man. But the point is, all these movies and games, of which they show a
Mm.
dystopian society, it's all real. Again, remember the movie we're watching over there, with our officer's place, called In Time.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah,
then
that was pretty much a representative
that was the
of
current.
yeah. That was if you want to speak on it, you can speak on it.
No, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, so another one that also pertains to the beast system. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, In Time over here. This movie. Let me open this in another tab as well. This green thing on his arm. Pretty much, time is seen as a currency. You could liken that as a chip implant, and anytime of which they, anytime, anytime they run out of time, or really when they run out of time, that's when their bodies die. So essentially, Esau's gonna have it to the point where he will be like the Most High, and that reminds me of this precept here, Isaiah 14 and verse 13. It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." And he's going to try and do that with his digital grid system. You got
Yep.
the digital ID, the digital money, which is reprogrammable, CBDC, central banking digital currency, and as well as the tracking system as well. Hence why you got all these facial recognition cameras and that type of system, with Palantir as well helping out with that, in order to pretty much replicate what China's already got and then put that, or probably have a more advanced version over there in the US and of course these other NATO and EU nations as well, which is that beast, as it says in Revelations 13.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
And this
You
is
got a point?
we're in the time where he's
Mm.
being. If you read that next verse as well, Baba Kusha,
Oh, come on.
what's that
There's
thing?
Yep. This is Isaiah 14 and 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Read on.
It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, man. You know, these devils and their wickedness, and just hold that precept right there, Baba Kusha. You
Come on.
know, their wicked plots and schemes. But we're gonna be staring at these people in the kingdom, like,
Mm.
and you know, these heathens, they're gonna be looking at these Edomites like, what, him? Man, you
This
know,
the man.
you gonna have Gil Bates who hairy,
Hmm.
Woodwell type settings, just
Oh boy.
looking all through. This was the man
We're
that
gonna be shocked.
caused the earth to tremble. Oh yeah,
This guy.
this guy. No, but
We're
yeah,
gonna be mocked.
you know,
Mm.
this is the man. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know where, as I mentioned, we're in the time where he's fallen, man, because it tells you that in the book of Job when he's about to fill his belly, the
Mm-hmm.
Most High will cast the fury of his wrath
Yeah.
upon him, man. You know,
Uh,
yes, in the you got up.
yeah. This is Job 20 and verse 23.
You get from
When he
you Baba Kushar,
So, okay, what verse?
22.
22. Come on. Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency,
Right,
he
read,
shall.
read, read, read 20, Baba Kushar.
Come on. Job 20 and 20 says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly.
Salah, read 19, man. There's some meat in this, man. Yeah.
All right, cool. This is Job 20 and 19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not.
And ever since he stepped out of those Caucasus mountains, man,
Mm,
he trespassed. You know,
yep.
Habakkuk 2 tells you that he is a proud man, neither
Mm,
keep at home. All right,
yep.
but at the same time, he's oppressed and forsaken the poor.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is a middle class now?
Yeah,
Who's
that's
middle
the
class?
term.
You've got the rich, you've got the poor. The middle class don't exist, bro.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Yep, it says in verse 20, it says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired.
Yeah, because he thinks that he's gonna receive that ultimate feeling of satisfaction that, oh yeah, we did it, and enjoy the fruits of his wicked labor. All right, but keep going.
Mm. It says, there shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. In fullness of his sufficiency, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
And the Hebrew word there for wicked is Amal. The workers,
Mm.
the laborers, your average Joes, your 9 to 5ers. It says every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So ultimately, they're getting ready to go buck shit crazy on Esau,
Oh.
on these wicked elites. Because
Mhm.
Esau is going to face a lot of resistance trying to implement this MOTB, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be those natural rebels, man. That movie called Mad Max. Yeah, but the point is, even Edomites and certain Christians, they're like, all right, they're willing to die already, man. When you check the comment sections of these videos that talk about the MOTB, they're ready. So Esau's gonna have a hard time. All
Mm.
right, so verse 23, Job 20 and 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Mm-hmm.
You want to
And
read that?
that's
Mm,
exactly what's gonna happen, man. Esau, Edom, he's not gonna get that we did it moment, that
mm,
moment of satisfaction, because just when he's about to express that feeling,
yeah.
that's when Yahweh Shai and the holy angels are gonna come back and destroy his shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
So just wrapping up on this article here,
Yeah.
it says the clip's viral spread comes as Microsoft aggressively. No, we read this, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
Yeah.
As automation accelerates, questions grow louder. No, we read this as well.
If you
Okay,
want to
just
read it, you can read it again.
Gates has not responded to the latest backlash. So yeah, they just say all of this stuff, right? But they just got nothing to say. See, that goes to tell you that all that the you thinking you've got choice is an illusion, bro. You
Yep.
ain't got choice in this thing. You ain't got a say in the matter. You ain't got none of that, bro. Right? It says the elite's vision, however, appears increasingly transparent. AI will run the world, and they will decide who and how many still get to live in it. Maintain the population, 500 billion. This devil's got to go, man.
That's it. That's it, man. You know, it's the level of wickedness just goes deep. To be fair, it just goes deep because if you were to really know his plans from again, let's say in the form of a book, which we do, within the scripture, of his wickedness and his slyness, as we read within Psalms 55 as well. This level of wickedness, it goes deep because they're there, their secret counsel of how they can affect his anointed man. As it says within. If I might as well just read it, considering I'm quoting it out. This is let me actually get to the point. Hold on. Where it goes from. Actually,
top,
Yeah, true. This is Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? And it's true that why did they imagine a vain thing against the Lord's elect, Yahweh Shem Yashai's elect? Because they actually think that they have a solid chance of actually having an impact upon Jacob and pretty much doing away with us. But Yahweh Shem Yashai won't do away with Israel. We know that because in Isaiah 45 and verse 17, which is a cold precept as well. It says Isaiah 45 and 17, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh with an everlasting salvation, which by the way, Lord in caps is referring to Yahweh. But we know that everlasting salvation will be through Yahweh Shai. Hence why we'll say Kah Halayim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Because it's through Yahweh Shai, that's how we get to Yahweh. And we connect with Yahweh Shai through Harachah Kodash, which is why we say Bahashem Rachah Kodash. So, anyways, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. It reminded me of this scene. I did a little video on it. It's a series called Invincible, where there's this character called Thrag. He said we are without end. So I knew instantly that was referring to the scriptures, man. That was referring to the Israelites. Even the name Viltramites, it's all referring to the scriptures because it sounds like Israelites as well. But again, what he said, we are without end, is the same as Jake, man. There's nothing Esau can do, to completely wipe us out. They just can't. The same way Egypt, Pharaoh tried to wipe us out, but that failed anyways, man. That failed sorely, because again, as we let me try and get that one quickly as well. Is it Exodus 1 or we talk about multiplying? Yeah, this is a key part. So Exodus 1 and 12 says, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. So Pharaoh just tried to make our lives bitter, and put that suffering the same way Esau right now is putting this injustice upon Jake, unfair opportunities and whatnot, which right now the tables are turning. He's the one experiencing more of the curses than we are. But nevertheless, previously we were the ones suffering under Esau Edom because of our disobedience to Yahweh Shem Yashai. But anyways, keeping to the point, the same way the Egyptians tried to wipe us out, it didn't work. Esau will try that again, but it won't work right now as well. So hence why when we read the scriptures, the things that have happened aforetime is written for our learning as well. It's also
Can't.
written so that we also get to a higher level of faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So verse 2 now in Psalms 2, verse 2, Psalms chapter 2, verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall have them in derision. So the point is, Esau thinks that he's going to achieve a whole load, and he thinks that, okay, yes, this structured plan is going to be that one plan of which, or one group of plans, to achieve his agenda is flawless, but it's not flawless because he hasn't considered Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Hence why he's going to be laughed at. And then, come on. You go it.
Can't. This is Psalms 14 and 1. It says, and the title is the folly and wickedness of men. It says, who have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. There is not one good numbered amongst the nation of Esau. It says, the Lord looked down from heaven unto the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good. No, not one. All right. So you can't expect this kingdom to be ruled in righteousness, for righteousness to be brought forth, a peaceful world, if you've got these devils in power and rulership over in dominion over the world at the moment, right? It says, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge? Who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon the Lord? There were they in great fear, for the Most High is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel will come out of Zion, when the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people. Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. So you see, that's what they've done. Smear campaigns, 501c3s and paying off certain camps to slander the true 100% unfiltered doctrine. They shamed our counsel, man, because the Lord Yahweh, through his only begotten son Yahweh Shai, is the one that's going to come and redeem his remnant.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna escape this Lord willing of the elect, man. But the way Edom is trying to set this world up, what people don't understand is that it sounds like innovation, because Jake always have to be on the latest trends and stuff, but the latest trend is putting you in captivity, man. And via you bowing to this beast system.
I just read this precept here. This is John chapter 10 and verse 10. It says, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So, of course, we get more life through Yahweh Shai, man. That's why, in John 15, it talks about him being the vine and, of course, we being the branches as well. The branches being connected to that root vine. That's how the branches get nutrients in order to produce fruit, to produce works, in order to be a substantial, a servant of substance, for Yahweh Shai, so that, we're going to be found worthy of getting that reward, getting that crown and those chariots, in due time. But pertaining to Esau, though, it says the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. Of course, steal, we already know, the history, especially when you go into the history of, the Latin tribes, the northern tribes, the northern kingdom, when it comes to Gad and Reuben, and I believe it was the British as well, predominantly. and some of the other, European nations that came over to invade Gad and Reuben and take their lands from them, and as well as the northern tribe right now, the Aztecs, that's the Mexicans, and the Brazilians, the Tainos as well, which the Portuguese invaded the Brazilians, hence why Brazil they have their version of Portuguese, in case you're wondering. And then the Mexicans, they really call their names Mexicans, which comes from the name Mexicas, which is what the Aztecs used to actually call themselves amongst themselves. And of course, the Spaniards who invaded the Aztecs, that was a whole war in itself, man. So, anyways, Esau came, them Edomite Spaniards, them Edomite Portuguese came over, them heathens came over and stole the land from them and attained those resources as well. It says to kill and to destroy as well, man. So, they made them worse, not just their lands, but also, which those are just temporary lands. Even just right now, wherever Jake is, that's just a temporary land because we all got to go back to our original land, which is where those Amalekites are holding falsely, which Amalek, by the way, is a descendant of Esau, one of the chief houses of Esau. So, he's going to get his lot as well, man. That's why he's having a war. He's literally prophecy is being fulfilled right now, man. That US and I think US and Israel, Iran war. So he, as the Mosai said, he will have war with Amalek, from generation to generation, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna just bring out one more precept, man. Close it, man.
Go on.
This is Sirach 4:28. It says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So, we just gotta strive to serve Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, and, do the things that are pleasing to him to the best of our abilities, man.
Yeah.
And the Lord will fight for us when it counts, man. All that divine intervention, spiritual power, salvation, ultimately, that's all going to be done through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, man. So stay locked in. Don't fall for the bait. Don't fall into Esau's traps. Remember, the scriptures say that we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. So, stay 10 toes down. Have you got any tips or any final word you want to say?
Yeah, as the scriptures you just read, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. It's all we gotta do is just stand in that integrity, of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, making sure even if you gotta stand alone, because of course, family members will be against us, people of the world of whom knew us before will be against us, and those of you are not rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahshai, will also be against us too. So again, that's why we have to be rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahshai, so that Yahatazah, again, as Yahushua said, he will preserve us during the hour of temptation. But that's because we stood so stiffly for the names Yahweh, why Yahushua. Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. Simple.
Yeah, man. We're gonna wrap up here, man. So we pray, Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying. And in closing, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Bachachudash.
Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. And, Shalom, 244,000 doing the work, truth, honor, and sincerity, man. And you great multitude as well, man. So, yeah, man. Until next time, Shalom. Stay up, stay strong.
Shalom.